Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com with the much anticipated announcements for the new Nikon Mirrorless that we know are coming. Interesting claims just surfaced, claims or stats claimed by Sony. It's always interesting when a company makes claims about sales figures because, as we all know, we've all been taught for many years that you can skew stats just about any way you want if you put them in the right light or look at them with the right filters. And the stats coming out from Sony are interesting, and I haven't dug into them in the sense of researched them all out to see what the validity is. I'm not even sure exactly how much research one could do. I'm not sure how much you could fully verify these type of things. I mean, you hear car companies making the claim that they have the number one, and then there might be an asterisk, and they've got all these little caveats there. And so Sony is saying that they've overtaken and held the number one overall position in the United States for full-frame interchangeable lens cameras in the first half of 2018 in both dollars and units. That is not entirely surprising, nor possibly beyond the realm of reality. I would think with the still strong sales of the 6D and the 5D Mark IV from Canon, coupled with Nikon's extremely strong sales on the D850 and the still well-selling D750, and then also factor in that the D810 still sells well. I'd like to see exactly where those numbers are coming from, and see them from an independent, verified source. I guess I'm looking at that with a little skepticism. I don't think it's totally beyond the realm of possibility, because the A7 III was a huge hit, a great camera, and the A7R III, same thing. So it's entirely possible between those two cameras, and then the rest of their older ones that are still selling not at the same levels, that combined, Sony has overtaken and held the number one overall position. But I'm a little skeptical about it, and I'm curious. Are you a little skeptical about that? Or do you think, no, that's realistic and Sony is number one? They also say that in that time period, 4 out of every 10 full-frame cameras sold have come from the Sony brand. Now this, again, is possible, but I'm a little skeptical of it as well. Simply because we still have all those other strong players I just mentioned. D850, D810, D750, D610 still in the mix. The Canon 5D Mark IV, the Canon, even the 5D Mark III, I think, is still being sold by Canon. We got the 6D Mark II, and then possibly even some 6Ds, I think. We've also got the 1DX. So it's interesting. 4 out of every 10, that's pretty significant numbers. And if it's true, Sony truly has taken an impressive lead. It also, the next claim, in the mirrorless market overall, Sony has held the number one position in both dollars and units for more than 6 years. Now, the caveat there is we're not talking full frame in that claim. We're talking about mirrorless, just mirrorless cameras. That is possible because that takes into account all of Sony's myriad number of mirrorless cameras. They also tend to release at a much faster pace than anybody else, so they're going to gain momentum and continued momentum from that because a new product sells well. So that one, I would say, to me, is quite likely the most believable out of all three of those, and the other two I'm a little skeptical of. I think the one thing it's pointing at is that the writing is on the wall that DSLRs are not going to be the best-selling camera, and their reign, as it were, is coming to an end. A lot of people are into mirrorless, very interested in mirrorless, have switched to mirrorless, or are going to soon switch to mirrorless. Whether you've already gone Sony, considering Sony, waiting for the new Nikons that are soon to be announced, or we know that the Canons are coming too. So, I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall here. These claims from Sony, though, I'm curious to see what you guys think. What do you think of these three claims? They've overtaken and held the number one overall position in the United States for the first half of 2018 in both dollars and units. Do you think that's legitimate? Do you think that if we had inside information, if we could actually see the truth of the matter, that is a true statement? I don't know. I'm skeptical, but I don't know. Curious to see what you guys think. The second one, In that time period, 4 of every 10 full-frame cameras sold have come from the Sony brand. Again, I don't know how verifiable any of these facts are, but if we could see into the actual true statistics, do you think that would be a true statistic? Do you have a hard time believing that or not? Are you skeptical? I'm not sure. I'm less skeptical about that than the first one. And then the fact that they've held the number one position in both dollars and units for more than 6 years in mirrorless, I'm okay with that. I think that sounds like a fact to me. That sounds real. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Curious to see what your take, what your gut feeling is on this. Are you skeptical? Do you not believe it? Do you think it's probably true? Let me know in the comments below. Let's discuss it. Interesting statistics. Again, always interesting when companies make claims about sales figures and who's the greatest and who's sold the most, because these types of figures are very easily skewed and filtered to be in favor of whatever a company wants to claim. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but I do have some skepticism here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. Looking forward to seeing your comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.